Hey, what is going on, Arius beloved? That was really hard. I have a bunch of errands today, so all related to my teeth. So this is what I did. I had an appointment at 10 with my dentist to do an evaluation, and they fill out this form. They filled out the form, and then I had to go to the VA to sorry, I just got a headache every time I go there. Yeah, so I went to the VA to submit the form for my compensation. Basically, like, hey, my mouth is the way that it is because of a service-connected thing. I want to claim so I can get my damn teeth fixed. But I went in, talked to the guy, and it turns out, like, oh, you already applied for that and got denied. I'm like, what are you talking about? They've never even looked at my teeth. It's like, oh, well, that's according to our paperwork here. So when I first moved out here and I did all my VA stuff, the American Foreign Legion or whatever they're called, they did all, they helped me set everything up. And so I had talked to them about that, about the dental thing. Because at the time it wasn't as bad as it is now. And I'm like, hey, when I was in Korea, I had an issue with my teeth and they didn't take care of it. It's all documented. I want to, get that claimed because it needs to be addressed. And they're like, oh, well, if it's not life-threatening, we're not even going to touch it. So they didn't actually submit like any appointments or anything like that for me to actually get seen. They just didn't work, which kind of sucks because it just makes the whole ordeal of getting this thing done a little bit more strenuous. But what they did was I have to appeal the previously denied thing. So fortunately, I have all my documentation. So I have my x-rays, the forms that the doctors filled out and everything. The idea is that they submit that off, and if they do it properly, what they're supposed to do, they don't look at it face value. Because if they look at it at face value, they're going to deny it anyway. What they're supposed to do, and they're usually pretty, is they're supposed to compare and contrast. So they take a look at my dental records from 2013, early 2014, and they compare those records to today. Now, if there's any discrepancies in my dental history from while I was enlisted, and they compare that to today, they can draw a map essentially of health. And by going off of that map, they can see, okay, so he started here, he's here now. Because of this, it's linked. It's causally linked. Therefore, it is service connected. That's the long and the short of it. I don't know if they're actually going to do that though, because it is dental. Because whenever it comes to dental, the VA and the military, or actually everywhere in the U.S., it don't matter. Dental is not, like, unless it's life-threatening, dental is looked at as cosmetic. Like, unless it's like you have an infection or something, then that's the only time they'd look at it as a medical condition. Other than that, your teeth are purely cosmetic. But fortunately enough, I do have, sadly enough, yes, I have an infection that I've been trying to monitor and keep up on because, according to my doctors, if it's not addressed, it will become life-threatening. What you're doing right now is you're basically just extending the time until it gets worse, which is where we're at now. So I got hooked up with the VA, submitted all my stuff, and it's very bittersweet going there because I do know that these guys legitimately want to help, but they rush everything. So just trying to explain myself of the reason why I'm even here is a headache because they keep interrupting you. Like, you'll say something, you hear the word dental, the answer's like, oh no, we don't do it. No, let me explain, like, the whole thing. Like, I'm bad. Like, I try to get, like, customer service agents and whatever, like, the people that you gotta talk to get whatever taken care of. I'm the worst. Like, I lose my temper so quickly because I hate being dismissed. it's like anytime I deal with someone and try to give them information about what I'm trying to take care of, it would be so much quicker if they would just stop, let me talk, say my piece, and then if there's any questions they can ask. Excuse me. Very, very simple. But everywhere I call, everywhere I go, it's always the same. I start talking, I get interrupted and then shot down or redirected or this, that, and the other. It turns into this long ordeal because I have to say, no, hold on, let me continue. And I can, because you have to get the full picture. I don't go into this long-winded thing. I give the bullet points of only what is pertinent, you know? So I'm there, the guy's like back and forth on it. It's like, he's like really confused as to why I'm there, and I'm explaining to him. And I don't think he was irritated, but I got the feeling he was getting irritated. He's like, you keep saying they referred you. And I was like, yeah, the Southwest Clinic, they're the ones that referred me up here. It's like, oh, well, they don't have access to the same stuff that we do, so they wouldn't know. And I'm like, right, which is why they referred me to you guys. So, I don't know. I got it done. That's all that really matters. So, the best thing I'm hoping to come out of this is just so I can get my teeth fixed. Because, you know, I've been working on this for a long time. I finally got all my ducks in a row. Got all the paperwork filled out. But I don't know, man. I still don't know. I don't know how it's gonna play out. But we shall see. Just give it time. They're usually pretty quick with a turnaround on all this, so we'll take it as it comes, you know. Anyway, what do you guys got going on today? I have work tomorrow and Saturday. A day bed on Saturday. It's all kiss stuff. Day bed on Saturday. And a bunk bed tomorrow. The guy on Saturday is like super gung-ho about helping me out. And, you know, I've had clients before that want to like get their feet wet. They want to jump in, they want to help. It's like, oh, it'll go so much faster. It takes so much longer when you have someone experienced working with someone that has no idea, you know, because then you have to stop and explain. And, you know, it's like, just let me go in, let me do my thing. I'll be there for an hour and a half and I'll leave. You know, the last day that I did took about an hour and a half. So it's just, you know, I would rather a customer stand over me and like watch and hover on me than try to like help me out. You know, because whenever I've experienced this, like every time a customer wants to help you out, especially when you're putting something together yourself, our experience of putting together, universally all the time, number one thing that they do is like, well, the instructions say this, or the instructions say that, or no, we don't do this until later. It's like, dude, I have the instructions in my brain so well that like I can do this far more efficiently than the instructions can. I've been doing this. I know what I'm doing. But you don't want to be rude, so you don't say that stuff. You just kind of go with it, and you're like, yep, okay. So hopefully it works now. I don't even know, man. I don't even know. I really want to get back in writing, but I'm trying to solely focus on work right now. And that's hard, man. Not gonna lie, it's very difficult to do all that. Because I want to write. I want to write more than anything else. That's it, you know. But I got to be patient with everything. It's like with the book, man. I keep looking and obsessing over the numbers. I'm getting better. I'm not refreshing as much or as obsessively as I was when it was released. So it's like as more time goes by, the more I leave it alone. So that's kind of where I'm at now. Is I'm kind of just taking my time with it, you know, because that's all I can do. You know, I can't stress myself out over all of it. What is this chick behind me doing? She's like straddling the lane in the shoulder, man. She definitely looks like a Karen. You guys saying anything? No, it's all good. get a nice drive home. And I'm hungry. I haven't eaten today. Yeah, so the only thing I have to stress out about now is hopefully this appeal goes through and they approve it. So, which I'm not gonna lie, man, that is very stressful. That is extremely stressful. That's the biggest thing. If that can go through, it'll alleviate so many headaches for me in my life. Because this needs to be addressed, you know. But aside from that, I'm focusing on work, and I'm trying not to obsess over the book. It's really hard, though. And that's only because I haven't gotten any reviews yet. So, which a bunch of people downloaded it. It's mainly on the free day. So, it's like 134 orders. It's, you know, how many individual people have ordered the book. And then there's also the Kindle Unlimited, which is like their extended lending library. That's like a monthly subscription thing. So, and it's like 3,500 pages have been read. So it doesn't tell you exactly how many people, but so looking at that, I'm like, okay, well, it could be anywhere from 20 to 100 people have like picked it up, read part of it, or read all of it. So what does that mean? So it's kind of like it messes with your brain, you know. So I'm waiting for the reviews, because once those verified purchase reviews start coming in, it'll help overall with the book. The number one problem with the book is no one knows it fucking exists, you know. The people that have seen it, that have like dug through Amazon, have found it, but it's not very high in the ranking right now, because I turned off ads, because I don't have any money to spend on ads or anything like that. So it's just kind of all over the place. So I'm waiting for those reviews to come in first, because, you know, doing ads, added way for, like, that's never heard of, but it's got good reviews. They're like, well, I might want to check this out. So I have gotten good feedback, though. So from the people that have read it, that know me personally and have reached out, they haven't finished it, but they've said some very good things, which, you know, it encourages me. The only negative response I got was from my aunt that said that, oh, there's cursing in it and it offends me, therefore I don't want to read it anymore. It's like, okay, well, you know, that's okay, I guess. I mean, it's not, because the thing is, my aunt is older, right? I didn't write my book for that particular group of people. I didn't. I wrote my book for people around my age. So 25 to 35, like that bracket. That's where the book is like kind of headed. But from what I've seen from friends and family, the majority of the people that have ordered the book have been female, which is very interesting, because I guess girls read more than guys or whatever. But I don't want to say that I like pinpointed it towards one gender or another, because there are female characters in that. So one of the best characters I made, which I kind of wish I would have fleshed out more, in the future she comes back around. But as far as Shelter is concerned, she doesn't have a minor role. She has a pretty significant role in the plot, but she's not around as often as I wanted her to be. And the way I portrayed her character, I'm kind of like, you know, from the writing standpoint, I'm like positive, negative on it. Like, she's this good-looking, very capable girl, but she's seen in a very misogynistic light in where she lives up in the northern half of Chicago. You know, she's not seen as being worth anything other than her good looks, but she's actually very intuitive. She's very capable. And yeah, at first appearance, you might look at this girl and be like, well, she's the one that's organizing all this shit. And then when shit gets popping, you're like, oh, damn, man, this girl, man, she got it going on. All right. She's capable. She can handle herself. That's good. That's Camry. It's Cam, or what was her full name? Camille, or something, but she goes by Camry for short. And even shorter than that, she goes by Cam. Why am I don't know, you guys don't want to hear about the book. Oh! Booger eater. Pussy, well, I don't believe you. That's fucking disgusting. No, I just think it's funny. My aunt wrote me just to say, hey, I downloaded your book. She downloaded it on the free day, so it wasn't like she paid anything, so she can't really be pissed off. But she read 20 pages, didn't even get to a different character. She was still looking through the lens of Scott. And yeah, Scott curses. It's not like he goes over the top of it. It's not like shit, damn, fuck, bitch, cunt, pussy, fuck, whatever. It's not like that. It's like he throws in a curse word every now and then when he talks. That's just how he talks. You know, he's this fucking 30-year-old dude from Texas. You know, Southern guy. You know, not like gentleman Southern, like cowboy Southern almost, like outlaw Southern, like that. You know, so that's just how he talks. So that's why it's like, yeah, it's not a big deal. If I would have had someone at my age range say, hey, I like your book, but it curses too much, then it would be an issue. Because people my age, cursing, you know, can be unfavorable, but in the right amount of light and context, it's acceptable. So if someone my age range told me it was too much, then I would address it. If someone in my age bracket said so, because it would make sense. I'm like, okay, right, yeah. So someone my age, well, you know, with my particular demographic background and whatever, if they're saying that it's too much, then it probably is. But no, people in my age bracket are like, okay, it's cool, whatever. They don't give a shit. I'm sorry, they don't give a fuck. But. So let's see, I think last month I made $50 on the book, but it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, I'm still net negative on it. I need to break even on the book, I need to fucking profit like $300 in sales. Me? I seem overwhelmed? It's a joke. I have a lot of... No, I'm just, I got this stuff with the VA going on that's kind of stressing me out. And I explained it earlier, it's the whole dental thing, trying to get the whole dental thing taken care of. So I went to the dentist today to get x-rays and an evaluation, an exam, and then they had to fill out some paperwork for the VA. And so we did all of that, and we sent it in. I just sent it in at the VA, and it's just a pain in the ass because no one's records are matching up. All that matters are my medical records. That's the only thing that we care about. The issue with, the issue that I'm having is the fact that historically in my claims process, I was denied for dental, but it was for something unrelated for what I'm going through now. And it was something that the VA never even looked at. I was never even scheduled an appointment to get seen. So the whole thing was, it's listed as need fillings. And I'm like, it's like even funny because back then when I went and told them about it, it's like not that I need fillings, is that the fillings I had when I was in the Army, while I was still in the Army, the fillings fell out and they never fixed it. Because they never fixed it, it led to one thing or another causing issues with my teeth. So because of that, that's what I'm going after. And the problem with that, because those original people filed they filed something that they never even had me get seen for. It kind of fucking barred me out of the thing entirely. So now I have to do an appeals process to basically say, no, that's wrong. This is what I'm going for. The whole thing is just a clusterfuck, man. But we'll see. We'll do the appeals process. We'll see what happens. Who's the girl on top? That is Madison Says a lot, or at least that was her name. I don't know what her name is here on YouTube, but it's Madison. She is an OG fan, actually more than a fan. She's been a co-host actually. So, dude, you didn't get to see this, but it wasn't a YouTube thing. It was a Twitch thing, and man, was it awesome. We pulled great views. We had a great crowd, great interaction in the chat. Like, I had a show called I Don't Argue with Anyone About Anything on Twitch. and we would bring people on and we would argue. So we would have me talking with other people. Yeah, and she would come on to, she's in the medical field, so there's a lot of interesting things that we could like debate about or talk about. And we didn't have to disagree. We could agree on the same thing and talk about why this issue is important, or this, that, the other. So it's like a social political live stream thing. It didn't have to be just politics, but it was mainly dealing with social issues and our vantage point on them, and the severity of them. So we had a great crowd. She was great on the show. She came on quite a few times, and yeah, so she's just OG fan of Mace Valor. So she's been around since I don't want to say that I'm popular. It's not like I have 1 million subs or anything, but in the communities that I target, the communities that I'm involved in the most, I had a rise of popularity about a year ago. And, within that bubble of popularity I had within those communities, we had a great time. And those are the things I always find a lot more interesting than the whole gig economy thing, the handyman, blue collar work shit. Don't get me wrong, I do it for a living and I'm knowledgeable about these things, but that doesn't mean that I enjoy it. So I released that video about me going around dropping off the book. Yeah, there's a lot more footage I had, and I had to go back, and that's why you see a lot of me sitting at my desk, because a lot of the footage that I had at the time when I recorded it, I thought I turned off my Bluetooth, but I didn't. So my phone was still tied into my Bluetooth, and these are just cheap whatever Bluetooth headphones, like $20 headphones. The microphone quality is extremely bad. There's a lot of popping and crackling, and the voice is really distorted. So I couldn't use it because of the audio. So some of the footage I put in just says filler, but there were things I were saying in that I didn't get around to saying. So the video came out, I guess, the best that I could make it with the footage I had. Because by the time I got around to actually editing the thing, I had already finished. I already finished it all. I already submitted off the book to all those different places. So it wasn't like I could go back and redo it, because those books are expensive. I have to pay for the books, I have to pay for shipping, I have to pay I'm actually getting off on Sahara, and I'm taking the long way, the scenic route, as it were. It's a little bit longer. I think it's like half a mile longer to home, but it's actually a lot slower because you have to drive 35 instead of whatever the freeway speeds are. But it's that time of day where traffic's heating up. They're doing a lot of construction on the shoulder on the 215 over here, and because I just get uncomfortable being that close to the barriers, because there's not a lot of room in lanes because of all the construction that they're doing. Plus with all the added traffic, So, and my whole premise when driving this car is driving it as safe as humanly possible. So, coming back from North Pecos Road all the way down to 215 is fine because you have ample room. But the moment that I know that those barriers are going to be up and it's going to be like you're kissing it, I don't even want to risk being a part of that catastrophe, which is why I am taking the back way. So that's where I'm at now. Oh wait, hold on. Yeah, sorry. For some reason, it's not showing me when you guys actually write, so I have to press on the thing. Oh yeah, send it. Bay Area? What'd you go all the way up there for? I mean, if you're making money, fuck it, dude, yeah. Or if you went up to visit family, okay, that's cool. All right, dog. Madison, your 50% cut has already been taken. I am sorry. I don't even have access to it. That's a funny story. So, about a month ago, I woke up with an email from Twitch saying that my payment has been processed. And I thought about it for a second, and I'm like, you know, I've been on Twitch for a long time, my account, and I've streamed a couple times, but it wasn't until about 1.5 years, 2 years ago when I actually streamed like regularly. Like, it was like every day, if not every other day. That's when I had my show. Oh, nice. Dope diggity, dude. So I got an email from Twitch, and I guess they sent $120 to me because I had accumulated that amount over such a long period of time. You know, from bits, ads, subs, all that stuff. And I was like, oh, this is cool. This is dope. Then I remembered I never went back on Twitch because I never thought I was going to make the threshold. I never thought I was going to make enough money, so I never updated my bank info. So they sent the money to an old bank that I have a debt to. It's just overdraft fees, but I'm not a part of that bank anymore. So when the bank got the payment, they absorbed it, 100% of it. So I didn't even see a penny. And here's the thing with Twitch. I have tried to go back on to update my payment details. It will not let me. Like, say what you want about YouTube, but YouTube's like, their layout for a lot of stuff is a little bit easier. The Google AdWords is the Google AdSense, where you get your payments from YouTube. It's a little wonky, but you can figure it out. Twitch, like, all of their user settings are like hidden, and like everything that classifies the name of what they're hidden under is like really bizarre. So there's an option there to switch payment settings, but I don't know where it's at. The only payment stuff is for me to put my credit card on to send money through Twitch, like through subscriptions, through bits, through stuff like that. It doesn't really give me an option to update receiving payments. Like, this is how I want to receive money from Twitch. Another thing is Streamlabs. I have money in 2 different Streamlabs accounts. Well, technically it's the same one, but it's branched off, one for YouTube, one for Twitch. Those are for my, not super chats. The text-to-speech, like you donate money and it says something, yay, and there's an alert, my alerts. So my alerts for Twitch, my alerts for YouTube, there's money sitting there, and I've reached out to them like, hey, the bank information is wrong, I need to update it. And for whatever reason, they on their end, like, well, we don't see that your account even exists. And I'm like, I'm logged into it right now. What the fuck you mean it doesn't? And the problem is intuitively in the app, Anyway, I don't even know what you guys heard, but that's another thing I have to figure out. It's not a tremendous amount of money. I think it's like maybe between both accounts, it's like $25. But it's just sitting there. It's money that people donated, which I'm thankful for, but I have no access to it because they won't let me change my account settings. If I do change my account settings, then they will not. The money just disappears. It's like, okay, well, we're gonna this money vanishes, which is really bizarre. Like, it's my money, I want it now, you know? I don't know, it's like, I need like a weekend, not like a day. I need a full weekend, like an unfuck my life consecutive days where my only goal in life is to organize my shit. I need to go on, I need to update every piece of information digitally everywhere. So I think that it would go something like this. Day 1 is I need to unclutter and uncluster fuck my physical life. Bam. Okay, I spend the entire day going through every possession I own. If I haven't used it within 3 months, it fucking gets tossed. If this is something I don't use or will not use in the future, it's fucking gone. To unclutter myself. I trash a bunch of shit, I go through a bunch of shit, and then at the end of the day, I go through every single document that I own, and I set it aside for day 2. So I have a lot of documents, and I just hold on to it, right? So I set all that aside. What I do on day 2 is I go through and I do that same thing I did with my physical life, I do with my digital life. Is I go through every online thing I'm a part of and I clean my shit up, right? And then on top of that is I go through my hard drives, my video footage. I spend the whole day going through, I evaluate every single digital file that I have. And I don't necessarily throw it away because I don't like to throw away digital files. But I clean it up. I title everything appropriately. I put things in the right folders and subfolders. I make sure that everything is labeled and organized correctly. And at the end of the day, the most tedious, boring fucking process and I might actually have to save this for another time because of how long it would take, is every physical document that I own that is pertinent to my existence that I might need in the future for some sort of record keeping, is I have to take every single document that I own, scan it into my computer, save it as a PDF, and I have to label it appropriately and put it in another directory that's appropriate for those files, different categories and such. So that is how I can unfuck my life. And the reason I do it in that order is because I don't even know where the damn chart, like the power cable is for my printer / scanner. No idea where it's at. I know it's somewhere, no idea where. So, and this is something I've been telling myself I need to do for a long time. I really need to do it. So maybe I'll do it sometime when there's no work, or maybe I'll arrange it to where like, well, I have nothing to work for today. I have no work for today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on call. If I get something, I go. If I don't, oh well, I'm here and I'm organizing shit. That's what I need to do. I do it with clothes all the time. I go through clothes like probably every 3, and if I haven't worn it, if it doesn't fit anymore, if it's too tattered, I get rid of it. Like, there's a reason why you guys see me like wear similar clothes, is because a lot of my clothes are really the same. Because I buy very cheap clothing. Like, I don't mean cheap like poor quality. I mean like bargain bin. You know, I search for the deals. My clothing allowance for me is maybe $200 a year in clothing, and a good portion of that goes to socks and underwear. I go through that shit like crazy. It's like every couple months I'm buying new sets, because I like, you know, you got to keep your feet fresh. You know what I mean? I'll look at your comment in just a second. The roads are really kind of crazy here, so I don't really want to take my eyes off the road. But yeah, that's like something I need to do for myself, because I think having that better level of organization would be very beneficial for me. Mace is starving. More than anything, I have a burrito in the fridge and I really want to eat it. Alright, yep, okay, run. There we go. There's a red light coming up. Once I see it, I'll take a look at your comment. You said something about YouTube money, so... I miss my Apple Pencil, dude. I had an Apple Pencil that I used for a little while, but I returned it before, you know, the return date cut off, because I needed it just for a short amount of time when working on Shelter, because I love it for video editing. It helped me when I was editing it, because I initially edited it. I was initially doing all my edits for Shelter on the iPad, but then I eventually sent it back and got a refund for it because, I can edit on the computer, the book, which is a lot easier with mouse and keyboard, so much easier with mouse and keyboard. But for editing video, the Apple Pencil was fucking the shit, dude, because I can't edit on my computer. My computer, it's like bare bones as fuck. Like, you can handle word processor and an internet browser. That's about it. It can't handle shit else. So trying to edit video on that, it crashes every time. And I've tried multiple different programs. It just does not work. It's not built for anything like that. What'd you say? I'm gonna go back to my YouTube. I didn't see what I was being for. You're probably looking at the wrong number. So it's one of two. So like, prime example, right? There are months where it'll show me like, oh, $200, but they'll send a payment for like $150 because there's a certain cutoff for the dates. So even though it's like I have $200 waiting, when they sent me the $150, that was for that time frame. It's like, all right, here's your payment for this date through this date. That extra $50 that's hanging there, that's for the next cycle. So that will be applied in the future. It happens every month. If you make a minimum of $100, then you get a payment set out. So I've had months where I've made $80, and then the next month I'll make $25, right? They send me the 100 plus whatever for those dates. I'm actually gonna go check the mail real quick. Not really expecting anything, but you never know. It's that time of year. We all get kinds of surprises and whatnot. Oh, okay. I was like really confused. Like, what in the world is that? It's not like the way they labeled that's really bizarre. Okay. Did you guys write anything? No, it's the cache. I just explained that to you. What did I miss? Because trust me, it's really confusing. So for example, in the history of my channel, like, all right, so I have made, since I started getting paid from YouTube, I got paid, I've earned, last I checked, I think it was $1,200, right? That's not how much money my videos made. My videos made over 2,000. You got to remember, YouTube takes their cut. So if there is a number discrepancy, it could be because you're not factoring in YouTube's cut. It all depends on what number you look at. At the end of the day, you do not by any means want to look at the YouTube Creator Studio, because that will never tell you how much money you're making. It'll always tell you how much money YouTube is making. If you want to know how much money you're making, you got to look at your Google AdSense. That's the only way to know for sure how much you're getting off of everything. Only way. I don't know why they don't want to integrate that into the YouTube's Creator Studio. It would be a lot more beneficial and easier for content creators to have all of that information in front of them. But unfortunately, they do not. So it's just part of the headaches we have to deal with. What up, SA? What's up, dog? I just got home. And unfortunately, that means I'm about to leave. I love you guys. You guys are the best. I wish I could answer your questions more. I don't really think I understand what the actual problem is, though. But my best piece of advice is focus on Google AdWords or Google AdSense, because Google AdSense, that gives you your actual breakdown of what you are receiving. The YouTube analytics for revenue are very beneficial for understanding what works, what makes you money. It works flawlessly. Google AdSense, it doesn't give you the same level of insight. It'll give you numbers, but not broken down specifically that are tailored to your channel with your video and your audience. Yeah, definitely would recommend use each of them for one thing or the other. Use Google AdSense just to know how much money you're actually making, and then use the YouTube stuff to better structure your videos. Use those numbers to educate yourself and be like, okay, this I'm doing right, this I'm doing wrong, kind of thing. With me, it's the number one thing that I'm doing right is old videos, is evergreen content. That's the best thing to make. Making a vlog is cool, do not get me wrong, but that's a flash in the pan. That's just like short-term views. Creating something more educational. I think there was a recent one you uploaded. You were up on a roof with a heater and it wasn't working, some shit. That stuff, if it's evergreen, if it's something that people are searching into the future, that's the stuff. It's slow to start. It's always slow to start with evergreen content. But within the next 6 months to a year, you see those numbers crazily climb with evergreen content. That's what's so great about it. That's a big problem with a lot of people in the YouTube community, the ones that do those vlogs like every fucking day. They lose their shit because in that landscape, you have to make videos every day because that audience comes every single day. If you miss a day, that audience starts to dip. Anyway, doesn't mean that you can't have both. You can have both. As always, I'm your so glorious and beloved Mace Valor. So glad I could chit chat with you guys. I'll be on eventually. As always, Mace Valor signing off.